For the past few weeks, we've been talking about how we can overcome evil by God's strength. But the world contains so much evil that sometimes it feels like we don't know where to start. It's easy to stand in the middle of a world where kids die and planes crash and wars tear people away from their homes, and we'd rather just pretend it all isn't happening. We make excuses that social justice isn't our calling, not because we don't care, but because we're overcome by all the evil in the world. Personally, for the first few years of my Christian life, I avoided all things social justice like the plague. I just rather pretend that it didn't apply to me. And even today, there are some days when I just don't feel up for doing social justice. But Paul's teaching is that we shouldn't be overcome by evil, but we should overcome evil by doing good. It's quite a simple phrase, but it's a really difficult teaching to implement. So, as a serial social justice burnout myself, here are 3 things I've found helpful for when you're feeling overcome by evil. Firstly, don't underestimate the power of prayer. We can all sometimes fall into the trap of treating prayer as a last resort for those issues that we know ourselves we can't really do anything about. Alternatively, sometimes we fail to bring our biggest worries to God, lacking faith that He'll actually do anything. Let's make a real effort as Just Love to bring everything we do to God in prayer, knowing that He will answer us. Come along to our prayer walk if you want to pray a bit with us in community. 8 a.m. Carfax Tower every Tuesday morning. Secondly, get yourself some community. We're not meant to serve God in a vacuum, but as the church. As Just Love, we don't want to replace church or any other kind of Christian fellowship, but we do think that justice is done better through a community. So let's make a real effort to be honest with each other when we're feeling overcome and to pray for each other and support each other. If you're feeling disconnected, get in touch with a church leader, a committee member, your college day rep, or come along to Just Lunch Thursdays 1 p.m. for food, fellowship and justice-related chats. Finally, our perspective really matters. I once heard someone say, the God of the universe doesn't want to change the world without you. Doing justice shouldn't be a chore and definitely isn't a requirement of salvation. We're saved by faith, not works. Building His kingdom is something we're invited to join in with. We can't try to do justice on our own strength. It's not our work. It's God's work, and we rely on His strength to do it. We all know that as Christians we're meant to be like Christ, and this idea is distinctly Christ-like. Instead of reacting to injustice with anger, hatred, or fear, we're to do as Jesus did, good. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. As you're celebrating Xmas, remember that Jesus came as a light to overcome darkness, an insanely huge God in the body of a tiny Palestinian baby, whose name has the power to break every chain. And this huge God wants our help in building His kingdom. By His strength alone, we can overcome evil with good.